Hey guys, it's me, Obi. You know, I'm that crazy guy that thinks I'm high with God. You know, all the time I'm high with God. And I love it. Because He was the only one that could make me feel good and high. You know what I'm saying? So check it out. Alright. I always just sit around and blow my horns and drink out of I drink all night. It's on Thursdays. Because Thursdays is a drinking night for me, you know what I'm saying? So I get horny and drunk, you know what I mean? Not necessarily in that order. So check it out. Here's what I want to talk about, okay? Serious business here, alright? I start thinking and I can't stop. And what happens is I generate the signal. And the signal is connected to everything, right? So problems start to occur in my space, you know? So here's what's going on, alright? I think all the time, and I thought my way back into heaven. And God is up here, and He's powerful. And He's coming through in dimensions, okay? And I know it's hard to understand, because there's some blocks that have been put on your brains, okay? Blocks, like 2 blocks, number 2s. They're so square 2s, you know what I mean? They only have 2 dimensions, okay? So the more dimensions, the more ways you have to maneuver through space, you know what I mean? And so you have to register those dimensions as command prompts, okay? And you have to get outside, and your cars can't do it for you. I'm sorry, but God don't even like cars. You know what He did for me tonight? It's freakish. He totally let me use my automotive remote controller to take over the grid and put cars exactly where I want them. And it doesn't matter what their host says. It's what God says that matters most. So, I'm totally good with God. As a matter of fact, I'm scared to death of God. I saw what He's been doing, and He does not like alcohol. It knocks out the bridge from right to left and from left to right. It knocks out your H2O and reduces your brains. God hates alcohol. So every time those Budweiser commercials come on, and Miller Lite, and all this craziness, right? God gets pissed. And then alcoholic troubles happen. To show you how much He disregards and the disdain He has for alcohol. Like, wow. Meanwhile, marijuana has been demonized because it's green, like, and maybe more valuable than a dollar bill. You could have spent it and then smoked it afterwards, or bought it, or, you know, like a dollar bill could have been made out of hemp. And you couldn't have, you didn't even have to need the ink then, you know, you didn't have to N-E-E-D-E-E, the ink, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so enough about that. Enough about all the conspiracies. Enough about the conspiracies, alright? The Illuminati exist, right? Okay. And they got our kids, and they got us, right? They got us all. And basically what they did was they manufactured all of these labels so that you would buy things, you know, but you buy their shit. Like Sally sells seashells by the seashore. What that means, and nobody owns it. So what that means, and it's free to translate, it's free. 99.9% free. So anyways, to translate it, right? You just have to remember what you were thinking to translate. And that requires memory for the bridge between right and left brain. And it's easier and faster to find yourself with marijuana or Mary Jane than it ever could be with alcohol. So, if you knew the true history of how men with suit and ties hijacked the whole goddamn thing, you'd understand why God would be pissed off about alcohol. You know what I mean? Okay. So, let's get to something important that's been on my mind, and that's Donald Trump, okay? Now listen. I don't like politicians. As a matter of fact, I hate them. That's my opinion. I think their insufferable mediocrity is like unacceptable to me. Like, I'm not saying to God, but truly, I think I can speak for God right now. Meaning, the mediocrity of thought is... Okay, so I translated this code, right? I translated this code earlier tonight. It came through in the music on the TV screens in the barbershop, so you gotta think fast, right? It was rap, right? Okay, I love rap. I'm a rapper. So the rap came through, and it said, we're gonna set, it's BET, right? So it's a national network. BET comes through and says, as a national network, I'm gonna send you down to Miami, right? And in the rap song, it says 4 o'clock. So I said to one of the barbers at the 12-man barbershop, I say, why did he say 4 o'clock? And if it's a national network, my question was, how's he going to send you south to Miami? I'm going to send you down to Miami. That's south, right? So he was like, well, everything's south of Miami. No. Mile marker 0 is Key West. All the way the southernmost key. That's 0. Okay, so 4 o'clock is what the rapper, the artist said. 4 o'clock. Well, 4 o'clock is south by southeast. That's Miami. Okay, so there's codes. They're trying to teach us, bro. They're trying to teach us some shit that even the government don't fucking get right now. And it's good to talk about this. Somebody's got to talk about it, right? Because they're never going to get it. They don't have souls. Most of the guys with suit and ties do not have souls. They have spirits. And we all know that soul is on the right. And spirit is left and down. Spirit is the root of the tree. Okay? Code over. This is your code cheat sheet for the day. Okay? You'll get a test next Friday. You're going to get a test. Okay? Because God's testing all of us, right? So He's going to find out if you understand how to translate time to space locations. Okay? So XYZ. It's not X-Files. It's not just X-Files. It's X, Y, Z file, like Zorro, you know what I mean? Like, you guys suck, man. You guys are boring. Okay, so anyways, check it out. Alright, so Donald Trump, right? I was really mad at Hillary, okay? I was pissed. I tried to see her. You know, I thought about voting for Hillary. I tried to go see her, and her fucking groupies, her 5-point star groupies wouldn't let me in. They said they profiled me, and I was trying to represent for my barbershop, you know, my crew, my 12-man crew, Anyways, I went there, okay? I rode my bicycle in. It was kind of stormy that day, you know. It wasn't raining yet. But there was so many people taking videos at what happened. It was insane, right? It was insane what happened, right? So they wouldn't let me come in. They knew I was going to be there, but they profiled me. So I was really mad at Hillary, right? I didn't like that shit. And then, while I was outside talking to the Trump supporters at the Hillary camp, you know what I mean, in Coral Springs, Florida. I'm up there on my bicycle, and they wouldn't, the police, her protectors, wouldn't even let me in out of the rain. It started storming, and there was thunder and lightning, and the wind started to blow. And God was getting pissed up there. You know what I mean? God was... Because I wanted to see if Hillary was a robot. And I didn't like that her boys, you know, tough coppers, you know, wouldn't let me in. So I think they figured out by the eye contact I made with them that I was really pissed. Like, and the storm happened, and it started raining like hell. You know what I mean? So anyways, and then there was a hurricane. Shit. God was not happy. Anyways, okay, moving right along. Okay, so I gave her a second chance. I didn't want to go down to Wilton Manors when she was hanging out with all the gays. You know, I don't like being typecast like that. You know, I didn't like that either. You know, and to me, that looked like she was supporting the alcohol industry, because that's what it is down there. It's a drunken farm, you know, with a bunch of drunk sheep. You know, they do what they're told. They herd them all into an entanglement or like a camp. They're all drinking, and then the cops sit around and watch them, you know what I mean, and have tickets ready to write, you know what I mean? They're standing there with tickets, and you know, what do you get when those people know, and they're numb to the idea that they're being hunted by a bunch of fake predators? They need their guns and their badges to steal your money right out of your hand, because your ass shouldn't have been drinking anyways. So you're both stealing from each other. You're stealing their time because you're all concentrated down there in the same Wilton Manors area. And Channelside's no different. The straight people are just as drunk as the gays. Like, it's all about the alcohol, and it's all about addiction in the United States. You know, the reality is that the whole slogan, keeping up with the Joneses, you need to keep up with the Joneses, is Sally selling... You know, who would tell you that but Sally? Sally sells seashells by the seashore, okay? So what happened with Sally is, if you're at the beach, right, and you're standing there and Sally is trying to sell you seashells, but they're all over the place. You just reach down and pick up your own. As well as the sunshine, because... what else can you sell that looks like sunshine? Sally sells sunshine by the seashore? Well, that would be the Illuminati, right? Because that's what they do. They sell alcohol. It's beer. Beer is the golden sunrise when you're... You know what I mean? Fucking didn't you know? Fucking alcohol, beer, right? Moses came down from the fucking mountain, got pissed off at Pokemon, because Pokemon was stealing his game. And I mean game. Yeah, those were his followers, and Pokemon fucked them all up and tried to make them walk into pits and holes and shit. You know what I mean? Has cars running off the road. Pokemon. So Moses came down, ground up Pokemon, killed him, right? And then fucking... he made bread. You know, and that takes a little THC. That takes a little... I mean, TLC. So, what happened was the burning bushes were everywhere after the bright light came from the top of the mountain. Well, those were burning bushes. He lit them all, man. It was raining purple rain on Pokemon and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways. Alright, yeah, I'm kind of cooked because I love life now. And you can't euthanize me or... whatever they do to psychopaths or whatever you call... Oh, they call it schizophrenia when you talk to God. That's how they demonize God. They medicate you because you're not supposed to be talking to God. The Illuminati does... The fallen angels... The fallen angels do not want you talking to God. It's not okay because it's a jab in their left side. You know what I mean? Like... You could kill the Illuminati if you start talking to God. They don't want that. Okay. Now check it out, alright? So, you gotta bridge that brain, okay? And our language, here's the thing, this is the trouble. The operating system is the Bible. And yes, it's very true. There's angels and demons and Da Vinci codes and all this shit, right? They're everywhere. You can call labels outside. When God grants you your gifts, Jesus. Jesus. When God grants you your gifts, it can be a killer for the wrong person. You know, God doesn't just give power to anybody. You got to be able to line cars up and shit, like by the color. You got to be able to figure some shit out. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure out why. Okay, enough. I don't know how to communicate with you guys anymore. You don't speak my language. So let me just do this. All right. The Wizard of Oz, right? It's a hot air balloon, not a light bulb. Well, it could be a light bulb. Anyways. Alright, it could be a cobra hanging out of my forehead. Alright, so anyways, this is what it's all about. I'm trying to show you. Okay, so this is a remote control for cars. Out on the street, on the grid, okay? It's a video game. But sometimes you have to have a master controller to make things flow like water. Like H2O. And little fire under that. What do you get? You get the flow of water when you're holding that remote control down, and everything becomes the command prompt, right? Because life is magical. Alright, so anyways. So I'm the wizard, right? And I'm outside and I'm horny for attention, you know what I'm saying? So I blow my horn, I struck off my horn, you know what I'm saying? I'm drinking from golden cups, the golden chalice, you know what I'm saying? It points down a couple times. It's like second hands on the clock. Like the second hand, the minute hand, and the hour. So is it our country or is it the 11th hour? Whose country is this? Anyways, who is running this shit? Because I don't know who's running the show. All I know is that I feel pretty cocky about shit right now, like a bird. I can't fly, I got no wings, but birds feel like they love to communicate with me, you know what I mean? I don't know if they're hunting for snakes, or if they want to get on a hot air balloon with me. Okay, so the Lollipop Guild, right? The Yellow Brick Road. You can barely see it on here. That's why. You know why? It's intentional. Because I don't want to see yellow license plates on the grid. So I just kind of cut that strategically out of the picture. There's a little slot. It lets me know when the tail end of their ass is over by my... Now I just see at the tail end. You know what I mean? So the grid is an amazing video game. Like, it's a multi-dimensional interface. And a Ouija board for angels. And so what happens is every action has a reaction, right? Every action has a reaction outside. And whenever you step on something with your right foot, it has a meaning and an intention to God. So what happens is you can turn cars with your foot, left or right, you know, and left is usually wrong to God. For some reason, the left is wrong. Meanwhile, we have a right wing and a left wing that's kind of off poles at the White House. Back to Trump. Okay, listen, I gotta tell you this before I forget, because I'm thinking so fast I can't remember right now what I just said. So the White House, I watched the State of the Union address, right? Now you had to hang in there, didn't you, through the rest of the video while I taught you my shit. I distracted you long enough to tell you the truth about what I saw on the screen at the State of the Union address from Donald Trump. I saw jackals and hyenas hunting for his throat. I saw pathetic people. I saw people that were confused about why God would appoint Donald Trump. And that's a scary thing, because why would God appoint Donald Trump is the question. God really does not like the United States behavior right now. And nobody has the power of fear more than Donald Trump right now. So he's definitely chosen. But by who is the question. Now, I wonder why the coal companies were looking for